Hello and welcome to Awaz News. I'm Kubra Ali and I'll be taking you through big news across Canada.
COVID-19 is still with us even as WHO says it is no longer a global emergency. Duclos. Toronto police officer charged in alleged sexual assault. Former Niagara area town councillor facing charges over alleged actions during convoy protests in Ottawa. Let's have a party. How Torontonians plan to mark the coronation of King Charles III. Man charged after allegedly exposing himself on school grounds in Mississauga.
These were the headlines and let's jump right into the details.
Ontario's Special Investigation Unit has charged a Toronto police officer in connection with alleged sexual assault of a woman in May of last year. In a release issued Friday, the SIU announced Constable Ramdale Loknath of Toronto Police Service has been charged with 1 count of sexual assault and 1 count of breach of trust. Charges have not been proven in court. The SIU alleges the assault took place on May 19, 2022. The agency said they were not aware of allegations until June 2022, after which they launched an investigation. Ramdale has been told to appear before the Ontario Court of Justice at 10 Armory Street in Toronto on May 31st. While the matter is before the courts, the SIU said it will not provide further comment on the investigation. The SIU investigates any alleged incidents in the Ontario involving police and civilians that have resulted in death, serious injury, or sexual assault. A former Niagara area town councillor is facing multiple criminal charges in connection with his alleged involvement with the convoy protests in Ottawa last year, police say. Harold Jonker turned himself in at a police station in Grimsby on April 29 and was charged with 2 counts of counselling, an uncommitted indictable offence, and 1 count each of mischief, obstruct property, and intimidation by blocking or obstructing a highway, a spokesperson for Niagara Regional Police says. He was subsequently released on an undertaking and is scheduled to appear in court in Ottawa on May 10th. Niagara Regional Police say that the Ottawa Police Service requested their assistance with the matter. All charges stem from an incident that occurred in the jurisdictional boundaries of the Ottawa Police Service, Constable Philip Gavin told Awaz News. Jonker had served as a town councillor in West Lincoln prior to his defeat in October's municipal election. Last summer, the Integrity Commissioner for West Lincoln found that Jonker violated the town's code of conduct by allegedly continuing to participate in the protests after it was declared unlawful and docked him 30 days' pay as a result. The Integrity Commissioner also said that Jonker, who attended the protests with family and members of his trucking company, failed to respond to requests looking into the extent of his participation. Jonker also faced criticism from some members of West Lincoln Council for attending the Ottawa protests at the time. In February 2022, Ward 3 Councillor William Riley accused Jonker of missing 4 meetings and said that he should resign his seat if he is going to continue to neglect his municipal responsibilities. The charges against Jonker have not been tested in court. A 28-year-old man has been charged after he allegedly exposed himself on the grounds of school in Mississauga on Thursday. Peel Regional Police said they received a report about an indecent act incident at a school in the area of Cliff Road and Queensway East just after 12:30 p.m. As a result of an investigation, Ali Ahmed from Toronto was arrested and charged with 1 count of indecent act in a public place. Police said he was facing a similar charge in connection with a previous incident. They're asking anyone with information to contact investigators at 905-453-211 extension 1233 or Crime Stoppers anonymously at 1-800-222-8477. Whether or not you like or agree with the British monarchy, King Charles III is Canada's official head of state, and as one of the 15 Commonwealth realms, our country will play an important role in his coronation and reign. We have a long history of being present at key royal events. University of Toronto Royal History Professor Carolyn Harris told Awaz News, this week ahead of Cyrus' coronation, it's a very unique event we are going to see happen. Before becoming king, Charles visited Canada on 19 occasions as Prince of Wales. including 6 trips to Toronto, the first of which took place in 1979. Harris said tomorrow's coronation, which will be televised on CP24, is important because it will offer some hints or insights about the tone of the new monarch's reign, which she said will inevitably impact Canada. She also noted that people should care about this once-in-a-generation event because of its great historical and political, not to mention cultural significance. Back in 1953, when Elizabeth II was crowned the Queen of England, the coronation of a British monarch was televised for the first time ever, and the 277 million people who tuned in will never forget what they were doing at that time, Harris said. The labor market is showing no signs of slowdown. The Bank of Canada is hoping to get inflation down to 2%, something economists say could force the central bank to get off the sidelines and raise rates again. Statistics Canada's latest labor force survey revealed Friday the economy continued to add jobs in April while wage growth outpaced inflation. Employment rose by 41,000 jobs in April, but with all the gains made in part-time work. Meanwhile, the unemployment rate held steady at 5.0% for the 5th consecutive month. That's just above all-time low of 4.9% reached last summer. In a client note sent out Friday morning, BMO chief economist Douglas Porter said the latest jobs report once again shows no evidence that the labor market is softening at all. The Bank of Canada paused its interest rate hiking cycle earlier this year, encouraged by slowing inflation. With its key interest rate sitting at 4.5%, higher borrowing costs should force people and businesses to pull back on spending and employers to rethink their hiring plans. But so far, the labor market has remained resilient despite previous forecasts for the economy predicting a slowdown to start the year. The central bank has been warning that a tight labor market will make it more difficult to get inflation back to its target of 2%, as higher wages could put upward pressure on prices. TD Director of Economics James Orlando said the details in the jobs report are mixed. The economy continued to add jobs, but only part-time work. Moreover, population growth has been propping up employment numbers for months as Canada welcomes more immigrants. And although the unemployment rate hasn't budged, Orlando said there are signs that hiring isn't happening as broadly in the economy. The jobs gains in April were led by the wholesale and retail trade industry, while the largest losses occurred in businesses, building, and other support services. The annual inflation rate in March was 4.3% and is expected to fall to about 3% by mid-year. High wage growth is pushing the Bank of Canada to remain hawkish in its communications on the monetary policy, even as it holds its key interest rate steady. Last month, the Bank of Canada Governing Council discussed raising rates again, but opted to remain on hold. Orlando said if the economy continues to resist the slowdown the Bank of Canada is trying to engineer, interest rates may not be high enough. COVID-19 isn't over even after the World Health Organization declared Friday that the illness no longer qualifies as a global emergency. Canada's Health Minister Jean-Yves Duclos said the declaration made the WHO in Geneva is the symbolic end to the devastating coronavirus pandemic that triggered once unthinkable lockdowns, upended economies, and killed millions of people worldwide. Duclos said it's a good sign, but COVID-19 still must be taken seriously and its lasting impact on our healthcare system is still playing out. Duclos said about 60,000 Canadians have died of COVID-19 and there are still people dying from it, though in much lower numbers than before. Health Canada's COVID-19 dashboard reported that during the 7 days ending May 2nd, 84 people in Canada died on COVID-19. In the early months of pandemic, the weekly death total exceeded 1,300 in May 2020. Canada stopped testing widely for COVID-19 when the Omicron variant hit in December 2021 because the number of cases far exceeded capacity to test everyone. The widespread availability of rapid tests for use at home also means that fewer people are getting tested in the healthcare system. Duclos said the system is still recovering, noting the number of workers who left the sector largely due to burnout. Long-term care is also a system in need of serious improvements, he said. The WHO declared the novel coronavirus an international crisis on May 11, 2020.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm Kubra Ali. I'll see you back tomorrow, same time, same channel. Have a good night.